Hello everyone and welcome back. So we're going to continue on with Lee's R&D session here. I do want to point out that we're now starting to race against the clock as Lee's got to catch an airplane very soon, and he'll need to leave out here to head into Nashville to be at the airport on time. So we're not going to have a lot of time to explain a lot of the stuff you're about to see, but that's okay because Lee didn't want to go into it anyways until he's had a chance to clean it up. This stuff was put together quite fast, and the code's very rough, but he wanted to do it just to make me happy. When earlier I was saying,
you were whining about the random noise on the train, so I threw something together.
Show him some random noise first.
All right.
So right now we just got flat terrain.
Right.
Boring.
Yeah, it is really boring. I don't want to put it here though. I want to put it in terrain patch. So let's go ahead and jump up here. Let's put another constant in. So this will be a constant integer max height. And for now, I'll set it to 15. Let's go down to where we're creating our grid. And right now, we're setting y to 0. So this is where we'll want to put some height in. So we'll create a var, call it height, and we'll call on random.range. And the range is going to be between, let's say, 0 and max height. Take our height, paste it in here. Take this code because we're, wow. Is there another one of Nelson's tweaks on this UI?
I don't know what you're hitting, man.
Yeah, me either. Apparently. Alright, so let's go ahead down here, Control V. Paste it. So now we should get some random height. But 15 is fairly high, so this is probably going to look kind of ugly. Let's see what happens.
But as long as we can see that we can create some jaggedy height, holy cow.
Well, I told you it was going to be crazy high.
Alright, don't even scroll back. Let's go and adjust that down to something like 5.
Nah, probably not even that.
3.
No, I'm thinking like 0.75. So that means I'm going to turn this to a float. Otherwise, it's not going to look good.
See, my 3 would have been more interesting, but that's fine.
Okay, fine. See what I got to put up with? No. Did it not take?
Doesn't look like it.
No.
No, just go ahead and hit stop. Try Control R. There, now go ahead and run it again. Yeah, we're good now.
There you go.
There we go. See what I tell you? I give you a number just perfect right off the bat.
Yeah, but that's ugly.
It is. It is. Because, I mean, right now you are honestly randomizing every single point. So we have no sort of proper transition from point to point to make something that gives a continuous, smooth, flowing feel.
Right. But there's ways to do that.
Yes, there is.
And matter of fact, this guy named Perlin came up with a pretty good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to delve into the code of this because it can get kind of complicated. And there's lots of websites out there that explain it. So I've kind of borrowed from them. So
well, I mean,
at some point we'll get into it, but
yeah,
not when I'm racing for an airplane. So I've already got a Perlin script, so I'm going to drop that in. I also put together a very primitive terrain generator, so I'm also going to drop that in. So at some point when I get those all cleaned up and prettified, we'll show you how those are put together. So for now, just kind of trust me on this one.
Yeah, just showing you at least where we're heading towards, or at least the kind of ability that we have for controlling how the terrain starts to look, at least from the procedurally generated sense.
Right. But for this to work, I need to create an instance of my terrain generator. So go ahead and define it, and let's create it. Train equals new. And this thing takes all kinds of stuff. So first is going to be an offset. That's going to be used later. So for now, I'm just going to send in a vector2.0. Width is going to be our size, and I think for this one, size plus 2. Just trust me, these are magic numbers.
I'm only going to trust you because we're not diving into code at the moment.
Right. Some people who are familiar with noise generators are probably looking, oh, yeah, I know what those are. So, all right. I guess that's part of the way there. Now, we need to replace height. So what we're going to do is go ahead and take this out. And I'm going to
ask the train gen to generate us a height map, basically.
Well, actually, it's going to get generated one time. I'm just asking it for what it found.
Mm-hmm.
So what I need to send in is our positional. Because this is an array, it's got to be cast as an integer. So this will be x plus 1 and int z plus 1. This is going to be times our max height. I'm going to take this. There's an error in there too. Let me just figure out what I missed. Oh, here. Take that code, replace this one with this one. Let's go ahead, now crank this number up a bit. And just because I've created a new one doesn't mean it's done anything with it yet when I create my new. So I actually have to go in and train gen and tell it to generate.
There we go.
So that will generate my height map. So if everything works well, we might have something interesting. So now we get something that looks more like a terrain. Now we can have some fun with this. Let's go ahead and pause it. Game object, create other. Let's go to directional light. Over here. Let's put a light in. Drop that in. So I've got that. Now, bear with me for a minute while I look on the other computer.
Oh, I know what you're going to do.
Yeah, where is it hidden though? Do you know?
No, not right off.
And so I've got to find it. It's on one of these drives. I thought it was here.
Yeah, bear with us for just a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't see it there.
So I didn't think, let me see real quick, just in case this was being done back over here somewhere. And it may not.
Simple level?
Well, I'll let you dig around through there.
No, it doesn't look like it's there. Alright, let's try doing it.
Can you just grab it from that last project that you'd brought over?
Possibly. So that's, what folder did you put that in?
Let's see. That one was, yeah, that's going to be over here and here. And then down in here, and then R&D, and then Lee's R&D, and then whichever one of those you were working in last.
Okay, that's going to be this one, This one, I don't know what'll happen when I do this, but let's find out. Looks like
importing assets.
I was looking for the package, and just do the package trick, but that didn't seem to be able to find it. So let's go ahead and drag this somewhat familiar individual, and I'm at I think that should work.
And if we fall to our death, we fall to our death.
It's kind of way up in the air, though, for what I'm thinking, but we'll find out. All right, so if I go ahead and hit play, nope, that didn't fire off.
Aww.
So
yeah, wasn't planning on.
Yeah, it didn't come up. Is that other hard drive still plugged in?
No, it is not. That's why we were looking around for all of this stuff, because it's actually not on this computer.
Yeah, all this stuff is.
Okay, well let's do this. Let's go ahead
pause
and
for a
just
sec.
pause for a second. Okay, well here we are back real quick. Let's go and get rid of that. And so yeah, we went and plugged in one of the other hard drives so that we can quickly gain access. What Lee wanted to do, just kind of on the fly here, was bring our third-person camera system, character system that was taught in the free videos that were put out. So yeah, he's just simply importing that just to see how this guy will run on terrain. Just a little extra something for just for show, I guess.
Yep. Well, we're still going to have a problem, but I wanted to show how to deal with it.
Oh, cool.
But we can't do it unless we've got something to interact with the world.
Well, there's no collision for starters.
Yep. So I want to set slide friction down to 0. 192 by 10. And I'm just setting the character to drop into about the middle of the world. So go ahead and save. See if that works. So,
yay!
She may look familiar, but
No
she
worries,
falls
good.
through the world.
So we need to fix some collisions. So
Yep.
we can go ahead and do that here.
Yep, and that's what I wanted to do real quick, just to bring her in, and then we can show what happens with collisions.
Mm-hmm.
So, to deal with collisions, we need to add another field. So this is going to be a private mesh collider. Call it mesh collider. And we'll scroll down to the bottom here where we're doing all of our mesh stuff. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to create a mesh collider. Now down here, after we start our mesh, I'm going to say mesh collider equals mesh object dot get component mesh collider as mesh collider. Now, once we have that, we have to take our mesh collider, find its shared mesh, because if we have multiple meshes, we want to share it instead of just using the same one. It saves on memory. So shared mesh equals mesh. Build it, make sure there's no errors. Now if we jump back over into here, I think 10 is going to be a little bit too high from what I saw. So let's drop that down to about 7. And go ahead and hit save just in case. Build it, run it. There she goes.
Hey, hey. All right.
Now we can run around our world.
Let's go ahead and bring up the, if you don't mind, the stats, just to take a look at what we're getting right now for draw calls and.
Well, it's going to be a little bit low.
Well, yeah, I mean
because we're capturing, but now our draw calls.
Yeah, that's
4.
Yeah, that's what I was interested in.
So you've got a world that is now this big that is only using 4 draw calls. Now, I don't know, that could be useful for some sort of mobile.
Yeah, absolutely.
World. Now, again, if you look, we have no shadows. So if I go into our quality, Let's go ahead and bump that up to fantastic. Our draw calls still stay the same, so that's no big deal. Let's go ahead and go into our player. Let's switch over to deferred lighting. We go up to 10. Still not too bad. Let's go to our directional light. Let's throw some soft shadows in. We're up to 19. So even with the best rendering method, soft shadows, and our terrain, we're still at 20, 19, 20 draw calls.
So there's definitely some potential here.
Mm-hmm.
So now obviously we're going to need to be able to, going from here, start proving that we can bring in multiple patches.
Mm-hmm. If we want to do something like that.
As a matter of fact, in the next, want to do one more video real quick and just show maybe, but just, we're pushing it on the airplane, guys, but just so you know. Let's do one more and let's see if we can we won't worry about stitching right now, but we'll at least show multiple patches. So that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks.